The greatest way to see Mount Everest from Tibet. Only in the legendary land of snows can you behold Everest's awesome north face. Even if there was enough oxygen up here, the sight would leave me breathless. And I'm gonna need all the oxygen I can get because I've come to Tibet for a purpose.
From here, I'm gonna make my way on down to a special village where some people are gonna teach me how to play a part in the Tibetan opera, the Lamo.
The strange and mysterious opera of Tibet. Most of the world has never heard of this spectacular performance art. I have just a week to master a role in this opera. Not enough time. Then, at the amazing annual Shoton Festival, I'm going to perform in front of hundreds of pilgrims at the summer palace of the Dalai Lamas.
It's sink or swim in the land of snows. I'm gonna keep moving if you don't mind. It's freezing. Sink or swim.
Tibet, a sacred place of magic and mystery. For centuries, the world's imagination has been captured by this secret Himalayan land, lying nearly 3 miles above sea level. A land so close to the sky that it seems like the people's natural occupation is to pray. In the imagination of the West, Tibet was a land where time stood still, where the only wheel was the prayer wheel, and where people led a much simpler existence. Descriptions of this monastery by early British climbers helped inspire the legend of a pocket-sized kingdom called Shangri-La. But what is the reality behind these legends? For one thing, far from being pocket-sized, Tibet is actually bigger than all of Western Europe, and much of it remains remote and unpopulated. But it only has a few million people, which gives it an incredible sense of solitude. Even today, people know very little about the real history and culture of this mysterious land, or the opera in which I'm going to perform and which will tell me a lot about Tibet's past. I'm making my way down to Nyangra village, where I'm going to learn the opera, but my first stop is a remote border town close to Mount Everest. As I enter the village, it seems I've stepped back in time and into the Tibet I had always imagined. There's little trace of the 21st century here, except for a Jackie Chan sticker on a door. My Tibetan guide, Shipping, is meant to be waiting for me here.
Excuse me, are you Jamie?
Shipping?
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You been waiting long?
Yes, a half hour.
Half hour, sorry about that.
Okay, yes. So, what did you think about the Chongmu Langma? Chongmu Langma, that's what we call to the Mount Everest.
Oh, Mount Everest. Oh, yes. Chongmu. Oh, I saw the signs. I didn't know how to pronounce it. With the Q.
Chongmu Langma. Yes. Yes, that is mean Buddha mother in Tibetan.
I loved Buddha's mother.
Yes.
Amazing. It's
you do?
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Incredible.
Okay. So, shall we go?
Sure, sure.
All right.
Can't believe I've seen Chongmu Langma. From this side, too. I'm in Tibet.
Before taking me to the village where I'll learn Tibetan opera, Shipping wants to show me a very special place near Mount Everest where Tibetan opera was born and where my Lamo challenge begins to unfold.
Oh, wait, Jamie! I'm the guide. You should follow me.
Who would have thought that an ancient tradition of opera would have its origins in an old bridge crossing an icy Tibetan river?
This is the bridge built by the founder of Tibetan opera, Tandong Gyalpo, 600 years ago.
Tandung
Tandung
Gelpo.
Gelpo.
Tandung Gelpo.
Yes.
Built this bridge 600
Yes.
years ago.
Exactly.
Wow. And he's the founder of Tibetan opera?
Yes, Hamo.
Wow.
Tandung Gyalpo was a real Renaissance Buddhist monk. You could say the Leonardo da Vinci of Tibet. Besides inventing new styles of painting and architecture, he was also a doctor who was constantly frustrated at the difficulty in reaching his patients in this land of many rivers. He was also tired of watching so many drown in the icy Himalayan waters. So, he vowed to construct iron bridges across Tibet, but these cost a lot of money, which he didn't have. Being the genius that he was, he chose 6 beautiful sisters from among his workers and had them sing and dance while he played the cymbals and drums. They say that when the sisters performed, the audience would yell out that the goddesses themselves were dancing. This won them the name of the Heavenly Sisters, or Aceh Lamo. And so their opera became known as Aceh Lamo, or more simply, Lamo. Gyalpo took the show on the road and raised enough money to build his bridges. Bridges which allowed travel to remote villages and helped the spread of Buddhism. He built them so well that they are still in use today, 600 years later.
600 years old, still intact, made to last, eh?
This is how strong my culture is.
After a long drive, we arrive in Yangra village near Lhasa, home to the best Tibetan opera troupe in the land. The art form has survived here thanks largely to one man, Master Gelong.
Oh, Yala, just delay.
Jamie.
Yes, Mr. Gelong.
Gelo. Nice to meet you, Gelo. Wow, it's a beautiful spot here.
Yes.
그런가 중간으로 가가.
아, 네.
그래서 거기 있는 아주 배역 죽준다 근지 시리 근지 텔리아는 제지 먹고 싶디 팅아주 룩규디나리아 하장 그다 거서랬다. 님도 된데베 룩규 인데치래. 이나 거르다 ren중기 거서랬다 6월게 주지 지기는데 하장 그다고다 뒤 이된데 거런시르 봐.
아, 네.
저다 대 하장이요. 알레처럼 아니 거서를 먼저 찍다가 직접 물어봐. 아대 댐시다.
This is the troupe you will enjoy.
My name's Jamie.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Wow.
삼보리 검도 좀 당공원 바니바 별로 숨벌 라모 되게 파 좀좀 시내 아니 시기 그런 가르가 방시 가리면 시내 고두리.
And I'm going to be one of the guys with the blue mask. May I ask what the significance is of the blue mask?
바케지 대셔다 로사 시들이 예만에 대저 되게 요 말을 다들 그래서 미직부 등로치
This mask is the face of Tandung Gelpo, yeah?
디 홍제스트노야. 디 당도 개부선지스가.
그래 단도제베다
셰레 인소라. Yes, it is.
Through song, dance, and narration, each Lamo performance tells a story, and the entire opera takes place over several hours.
Shipping, are those the beautiful heavenly sisters that help raise money to build the iron bridge?
Exactly. Yes.
The plots come from Buddhist legends or from the exploits of real heroes of Tibetan history.
Quite a lot of different moves, yeah. It's a long dance, too.
Yes. That's beautiful as well.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
I just hope I don't ruin the beauty of it. I think it's butter tea. I'm lactose intolerant, but I'm gonna drink it anyway.
Every performance begins with a purification of the stage, which is performed by these hunters in blue masks. This is the first of the 3 roles in the opera which I have to learn in just 1 week.
Nice.
Good.
Maybe you don't need to do all this story perform, and you also cannot do this at this limited time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Even though I
just
would have
the
given it a
beginning.
go, but
This performance usually took 20 years to
20
practice.
years?
Yes.
it's like
Spinning.
four steps to the front, 4 back, and then raise the left leg, and then hop around on the right leg, and then
Yes.
this way, and then that way. There's a lot to remember.
Okay.
I can't wait till tomorrow morning so I can start my training. I'm really excited, and it's a great honor to be training with you.
Okay. And he's also thankful for you coming from such a far away country to Tibet for learning this Lama, especially here.
See you. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Not far from Nyangra village is Lhasa, Tibet's mystical capital, a holy city which has always held a special place in the world's heart. But today's Lhasa is nothing like I imagined. It's a bustling modern metropolis, much like any other Chinese provincial capital. Starry-eyed tourists jet into Lhasa's new international airport, their heads full of visions of mystical chanting monks. But the legendary place they imagine is instantly swept away by the real Lhasa as soon as they enter the city limits. Today, monks talk on mobile phones, and taxis now outnumber pilgrims on the holy streets. But in the famous Barkor street market, you can still get a taste of old Tibet. You get the sensation that you've traveled back in time and stepped into a medieval carnival. Pilgrims from the farthest reaches of the Tibetan plateau jostle with tourists to haggle for bargains on jewelry, Buddhist relics, and prayer wheels.
Shiping,
Yeah?
I think I'm going to find a prayer wheel, something to take home.
Yes, maybe some tiny one.
Oh, they got
Let's
small
go
ones.
and find them.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm surprised that many of the shopkeepers selling these Tibetan religious objects aren't even Tibetan.
This is better for
This
traveling.
one is.
Prayer wheels range in size from tiny to the size of a small building, but I think I've discovered the secret of prayer wheels.
It's the size of your faith, not the size of your wheel.
When night falls, the ancient holy streets glow with neon lights, and off-key wailing from scores of karaoke bars is carried on the thin air. A new kind of Lamo performance is popular with young Tibetans in the city, but it is a far cry from the Lamo of Tandong Gyalpo. This is Nyangma, a kind of nightclub Lamo with Chinese disco and karaoke culture thrown in. People relax and listen to popular ballads, then get up and dance in a way that's kind of a mix between Lamo and disco.
So where's Master Gelang? Should be here, eh?
Yes, he'll be soon here.
Is it normal to have so many vultures in the sky? In the
Yeah,
morning?
yeah. Have you seen that vultures flying over here? And there is a sky barrel up there.
Sky burial, yeah, I
Yes.
heard about sky burials where the body of the deceased person is cut up into
Exactly.
bite-sized pieces for the vultures.
Yes, yes. So,
What's the significance behind that?
according to the Tibetan Buddhism, usually human being after they gone away, and the body is no more used, it's recognized as some kind of offerings for the vultures.
I see.
Yes.
Ah, here he comes. He looks like a cowboy. Rashidale!
These steps might look easy, but I'm finding out that they are not as simple as they first appear.
Okay.
So we start with the basics. This one? Like that, yeah? It's almost like dancing. I begin by learning the basic moves. Mr. Gaylong makes them look simple, but they're new to me and I feel very clumsy.
Keep these hands like this.
Whoops. Oh! Wrong way around. He's showing me the hands when I haven't got the legs yet. As well as the opening dance, I have to learn the part of one of the merchants who appears in the main story. How do you do? How's he like this? I meet Pinsok, who will be my other teacher when Mr. Gaylong is not around. It's hard! Woo. Well, is it again? I'll try again. Pinsok tries to teach me these difficult spin moves, which appear later in the dance. Together with the altitude, it has quite a strange effect on me. I feel a little lightheaded. The third role I'm going to learn is this scorpion dance. Again, Pinsok leads the demonstration, and Mr. Gaylong tries to reassure me that that's all there is. That's all I need to learn. Yes. So there's the first one, the second one, and the third one, the scorpion. I'm lost. Master Gaylong says before my next lesson, I must learn more about the Tibetan people and where they came from. Only then can I hope to understand Lhamo. So it's off to a little-known valley in a remote corner of Tibet. We're going to the Yarlung Valley, where Tibetan civilization was born. The Yarlung River flows into India, where it becomes the Brahmaputra. It's a very special valley. The Tibetans believe they are the descendants of a monkey saint and a she-demon who lived in a cave in this valley. The monkey children eventually turned into men and women, the first Tibetans. In this valley is a magnificent palace, which Tibetans believe to be the oldest in the land. It was partially destroyed 30 years ago, but has since been restored. Wow.
This is Yumbalakang Palace, Tibet's first palace built by Tibet's first king, Nyaltik Tangpo, in the 2nd century BC. And it was from here that the kings would rule over their land.
Legend has it that Tibet's first Buddhist scriptures fell down from the heavens onto this very roof. And another legend has it that Tibet's first king slid down to this roof from the heavens on a celestial sky cord. Further down the valley is the origin of Tibetan Buddhist culture, the sacred spot where Tibetan Buddhism was born. 1300 years ago, an Indian monk arrived in this valley. His name was Padmasambhava, or Guru Rinpoche, Tibet's greatest hero. And I've climbed up to the scene of one of his greatest exploits. Guru Rinpoche was invited here by one of Tibet's first kings to exorcise the land of the demons of Tibet's indigenous bone faith. The new religion immediately found itself in violent conflict with the aristocratic bone faith and its devotees, a conflict symbolized by a Tibetan legend about Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche climbed this very hill here and fought an epic battle against the demons of Tibet.
His victory symbolized Buddhism's victory over the Bon religion. He then built a monastery at the scene of his triumph. Wow. This is Samye, Tibet's first Buddhist monastery.
It was built in the year 775.
And Guru Rinpoche was its first abbot, and he ordained Tibet's first 7 Buddhist monks right here.
Here, the conquered demons of Bon were transformed into the fierce guardians of the Buddha. Guardians symbolized by these masks. The monks composed dances with these guardian demon masks, called cham dances. These mask dances merged with Tandong Gyalpo's opera to form the lamo that survives today.
The wall's seen a lot of action, but you can still see.
As we explore Samye Monastery, shipping makes an amazing discovery on one of its ancient murals.
Oh, look at this. It seems like Tandong Gyalpo, isn't it?
Tandong? Really? That's him?
Yeah.
I can see the drummers too.
Yeah.
The same sort of drums that they were using with the lamo.
You see what he's holding here?
Yeah, he's holding the stick to beat the drum.
Yeah.
He's dancing. So that means there must be some fair maidens around here somewhere, if it's really him. Oh.
Maybe up here.
Perhaps these ladies here?
Yes.
Fantastic. So perhaps this dance that they're doing here,
Yeah.
combined with the cham dance,
Exactly, yes.
is what we know today as lamo, perhaps?
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. Have you ever thought about becoming a monk?
Me?
Yeah. You never really thought about it, huh?
Yeah.
The magic of this place inspires me to train on the roof. I need to start practicing some of my dance moves. The amazing history of Lamo keeps playing in my mind like a favorite movie. Tandong Gyalpo's Iron Bridge, the Heavenly Sisters, and the bizarre cham dance. Maybe it's a good thing Tandong Gyalpo isn't here to see me, although there's something spooky about the way these monks are keeping an eye on me. Maybe with their blessing, I'll be ready when the Shoton Festival begins in a few days' time.
Remember those one like this? Cha-chang, cha-chang, and then he hops. Something like that.
Yes, almost.
Whoops! Hang on, does my leg go up or down? I thought this would be, a great place to practice. Samye Monastery, beautiful setting. Tantra, got all the monks checking me out. I could show off with a bit of lamo, but it wasn't the case. I remember, little bits here and there, but I can't remember how many beats and this and that. And I need either Pinsok or Mr. Gaelong right in front of me because I'm supposed to follow the back of their head. So without them, it's pretty hard. Such a short time before the actual performance. So I'm pretty scared. Pretty scared.
From here at Samye, Buddhism spread across Tibet. Over the centuries, the Tibetans became profoundly religious people. Monks hoped to be reincarnated as living Buddhas. Common people put up prayer flags which sent a prayer to heaven with every flutter. They rotated wheels containing prayer scrolls in the hope to gain merit so that they might be reincarnated as higher beings in their next life. But by the 12th century, Tibetan Buddhism was mired in endless debate over scriptures, meditation, and rules regarding reincarnation. These differences became formalized into various schools of Tibetan Buddhism. But in the 17th century, one school came to dominate the others. It soon won the hearts and souls of Tibetans, a success captured in the structure of the Potala Palace. From every spot in Lhasa, you can see the majestic structure. The windows seem like 1,000 eyes that watch you everywhere you go. A castle, upon a fortress, upon a mountain. It was from here the Dalai Lamas brought a new order to Tibetan Buddhism, and for traditional Tibetans, the faith remains strong.
I've been told it's a short stroll to the top. You can see the top from here. So let's do this, shall we? Quicken up the pace there, shall we? Yes? Traditionally, pilgrims to the Potala Palace would walk up this steep stairway, and in doing so, they would crisscross the Potala's great southern face. Whew. Nowadays, though, you can pretty much pay just a few Chinese yuan and get your taxi to take you up most of the way. Whew. Oh no.
Visitors would pass through this tunnel and then behold the Dalai Lama's great red palace. They would cross the great courtyard and enter through this doorway. Inside the thick white walls were incalculable riches. Huge mandalas made of solid gold. Storerooms crammed with gifts from khans and emperors. Chapel after chapel decorated with precious antiques, silk banners, and astrological murals. Perhaps the greatest of all the Potala's wonders are the 8 mausoleums that contain the remains of departed Dalai Lamas. They're filled inside with treasure and studded on the outside with a myriad of precious jewels.
This is the burial stupa of one of the greatest Dalai Lamas, the one the Tibetans call the Great Fifth. Now, one of the reasons he was so great is that he built this place, the Potala Palace. Amazing.
From up here, the 5th Dalai Lama looked down on his city and decided that the Shotan festival, which was purely religious at that time, would become a festival for the people as well. So he invited Lama troops from all over Tibet to perform. It was his love of the people and of the Lama that endeared him to ordinary Tibetans. But the power of religion over the people was taken advantage of by some of Tibet's old theocracy. Many Tibetans led the difficult life of a serf, toiling on land for the monasteries. The Chinese took this as justification to liberate Tibet from the oppression of their Buddhist monk leaders. Then, in the 1960s, came the Cultural Revolution. The Red Guards vowed to change the past. All of China bore the brunt of those excesses. Hundreds of Tibetan monasteries were destroyed, and relics and intricate murals defaced in that period. Lama was among the traditional arts banned during the upheaval. It was a difficult period for the Tibetans. In the late 1980s, some monasteries started to be rebuilt. But even though Lama was once again allowed, villagers had trouble recalling an opera which had been banned for 22 years. Luckily, the roving amateur spirit of Tibetan performing artists kept the tradition alive. Wandering minstrels never stopped performing the songs and dances that Tibetans have always treasured. At last, I'm beginning to understand how Lama opera tells a much greater story than the ones in its performance. Today, I'm trying to figure out the second part of my performance, the dance of the merchants.
Is that right? I'm trying to get this arm movement. This is only one of the 20 arm movements.
Pinsok comes to my aid. Fortunately, he's very patient. But the villagers watch on in amusement. It's hard to tell exactly what they think. I wish they looked a little more confident, though.
What?
So straight. Level.
Okay. This is really hard. For me. Yeah? Oh, I'm getting it slowly.
1 minute I've got it, the next minute it's gone. Where's Mr. Galen when I need him?
If I could just see myself in the mirror, I could see what I was doing wrong. I mean, it seems so simple, but I keep getting it wrong.
Now I practice the third and final dance that I have to perform. Just how much of this I'll be ready for is hard to say. But at least I'm beginning to get a sense of the story of the particular opera I'll be performing. Apparently, Our hero is a merchant who is tricked into a quest by an evil king and finds himself in great peril. During one of his many ordeals, the merchant is threatened by giant scorpions who try to overturn his boat. In one short scene, I will play one of the scorpions. That's what my third and final dance portrays. But I'm still nowhere near mastering the first two, and there's only 2 more days to my performance.
We will hold close.
Close, yes.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So they are trying to turn over the boat.
That the merchant,
Yes.
the merchant is in.
Yes, yes.
So the scorpions are the guardians of the Naga.
Yeah,
You wouldn't think a Naga would need a guardian.
sometimes they do maybe.
Yeah.
With so many elements to the Lamo opera, I'm starting to understand why it takes years to learn the whole thing. And I only have 2 more days. The Shoton Festival begins tomorrow, and my performance is the day after. I don't think I'm ready yet.
I woke up this morning with the flu and I didn't really feel like doing the practice today, to tell you the truth, but I persevered and I'm glad I did. The groundwork's mostly there. I just have to go over it and over it and over it. So yeah, I'm gonna go recover from my flu.
But that didn't stop me from getting up early the next day.
Well, I just got up at 4 in the morning, scrambled up this hill amongst the throngs of pilgrims and tourists to get a good spot to see the unfurling of this giant Buddhist thangka, which is a big silk tapestry which is going to unfurl right behind me here, but not for another couple hours, so I'm just going to sit tight here. Could you turn those torches off now, please?
It's the first day of the Shoton, and it starts on the outskirts of Lhasa at the Drepung Monastery, the largest monastery in the world. Plumes of incense fill the morning air as the beginning of the festival is marked by an incredible event. A great sense of anticipation as the ceremony unfolds. Monks pour in wearing their familiar red robes as devotees gather. Pilgrims throw white scarves and confetti on the enormous silk tapestry to gain merit. The hillside comes alive as hundreds of monks pull up the thangka, transforming the scene in a colorful ritual that affirms their devotion to the Buddha. In the climactic moment, they unveil the face of the Buddha, symbolizing the moment of enlightenment. As the face of the giant Buddha beams down, it's a signal that the Shoton is here, and my thoughts return to the ordeal ahead of me. I'm going with shipping to the Norbalinka Palace. This was the summer palace of the Dalai Lamas, a more comfortable retreat than the Potala at that time of year. On my way, I meet with a group of Tibetan women preparing for the festival in their own way, singing folk songs and keeping tradition alive. If my audience is anything like this, maybe it won't be such an ordeal after all. And right now, anything that boosts my confidence is very welcome. Norbalinka is also the place where Lamo opera troupes perform during the Shoton, and it is here I am scheduled to have a full dress rehearsal, my last chance to get it right. And Norbalinka is where I join Mr. Gaylong's troupe, center stage.
Ah, okay. Oh, so this was taking place of the twig I was practicing with on the first day.
Mr. Gaylong is back to help me get through my rehearsal before tomorrow's performance. He seems strangely relaxed about the whole thing.
One more. Yeah. I still haven't got it down and it's the day before.
They seem unsure about whether I have the moves right yet. A crowd has gathered to see the strange sight of a clumsy foreigner attempting to dance Lamo, but they offer lots of encouragement just when I need it. I have time for one final excursion before my big day. Although the Potala is the symbol of Tibet, the holiest site is actually another temple in the heart of Lhasa.
This is the Jokang Temple, the holiest place in Tibet. It was built in the 7th century. Wow, that's old.
Like the Masjid-il-Haram Mosque in Mecca or St. Peter's in the Vatican, the Jokang is the spiritual heart of a faith. Every devout Tibetan hopes to make at least one pilgrimage in their lifetime to this holiest of Tibetan Buddhist temples. They wait days for the chance to touch Tibet's most revered statue of the Buddha, which was given to Tibet's first great religious king, Songtsen Gampo, by his bride. This is it. I'm part of the troop now, and we're about to find out how much I've learned.
Wish me luck, man. I hope I don't make you guys look bad today. Yabadoo. My first love is dancing llama with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Let's do this.
A huge crowd has gathered to watch the famous Nyangra village Lama offer a troop. I'm praying that I don't let them down.
Yep. None of these boots are gonna fit. They don't match at all.
I just hope this isn't an omen, but the rest of my costume goes on without too much trouble.
I'm dying for a drink. How am I gonna know when to come off?
Sorry?
How am I gonna know when to leave the stage?
Okay. Mr. Gillen will touch you.
He'll
We'll
touch
let you
me?
know.
Okay,
He will touch you, then you go.
okay, we're starting.
First, Miss Gillen will give some introductions to the audience for
Okay,
you.
we're all going together, right?
Yeah. No,
Can I-
just you.
Just
Just you
us.
and Mr. Gillen.
Can I have a drink of water?
Follow Mr. Gillen.
Mr. Gaylong lets the audience know there's an imposter in the troop, namely, yours truly. I'm relieved to have such a warm welcome. We hunters enter the sacred circle to purify the stage, followed by the heavenly sisters. Although I'm in the mask of Tandong Gyalpo, I lack his sense of direction and somehow manage to get lost. The crowd finds it hilarious, which is probably just as well, but there are moments when it doesn't feel like the dance I trained for. Mr. Gaylong keeps the story going as I exit from my first performance, feeling more than a little relief that it's over.
I did terrible. Are you sure? Oh, I did terrible. There's a lot of people laughing, so that's always good. If people laugh, that's always a good thing. If I can bring laughter into people's lives. Rashidele. Yabadu. This spin that they're doing now, I was hoping to do it, but the problem is I can do it in a straight line, but to do it in a circle is very hard. And if you look at the inner circle, the people sitting down, they're all elderly people and children. Imagine some guy's had his teeth for 80 years and loses them because of my clumsiness. No, that's why it didn't happen. Chapta! 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 Oh, at least I'll nail this one. It's a pretty easy step. I can do this one in my sleep.
Maybe the only place I can do this dance is in my sleep. I prepare myself for the main part of my act in the Dance of the Merchants, and wonder if I'm up to the challenge after all. But whatever happens, I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm full of confidence for this one, I think, but I immediately go to the wrong place on the stage. In this dance, we portray merchants who accompany the hero tricked into his quest by an evil king. All of a sudden, they throw in another spin move I haven't learned. I thought I had the moves correct for this dance. Still, there seems to be a lot of laughter. At least I'm entertaining them. I missed my signal to stop dancing. I never learned this spin. My fellow performers and the audience all seem very forgiving, even when I miss my cue to leave the stage. Luckily for me, humor is a big part of the Lamo, because I'm definitely the comic relief.
Oh, thanks. Okay, that was supposed to be the second step that I learned, but it was the second step and a whole bunch of other stuff which I didn't know. So once again, I was lost. Lost in a beautiful place. Yes. Here we go again. Well, what do you know? I'm a scorpion. Oh, this and handsome too. Nah. I've got to pull this over my head and bite this thing to keep it down over my eyes. And I have to look out through the black cloth. I can barely see anything. This is going to be very interesting.
We scorpions attack the hero in his boat. The hero is that good merchant who was banished by an evil king. Now we try to capsize the boat, although I improvise a little too much and draw more laughter from the crowd. Fortunately, this is the shortest of my dances. It's quite a relief to know that it's all over.
Thank you. I know I'm supposed to feel like a scorpion, but I can't help but feeling like a rodeo clown. Come here, give me a scorpion hug.
Very nice.
Are you sure?
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Shippy. All right, well, that's pretty much the end of my duties here today.
Now, in its 6th hour, the opera moves towards the climax. In the grand finale, the wife of the merchant gives birth to a holy child that kills the evil king and saves the day. As in all Tibetan operas, good has triumphed over evil. The golden child is honored in front of the portrait of Tandung Gyalpo, holy monk, bridge builder, and founder of my beloved Tibetan opera.
I love the Lama opera. Through Lama, it's brought me out here to Tibet. Through learning the whole learning experience, I've got to know the Tibetan people, and they're wonderful people, very proud people, huge hearts, biggest hearts you're going to find anywhere. You can't keep a good people down, despite whatever they've been through in the past. Their culture is intact, and more importantly, their humanity is intact. And nowadays, that's very hard to find. Very hard to find. I love this place and its people.
Our amazing opera is finally finished. All of the performers get a white scarf as a sign of respect and thanks. Even our cameraman gets one. With a heavy heart, I say my goodbyes to Pinsok, to the wonderful Mr. Gaylong, and the Nyangra village Lama troupe.
My teacher, he was talking non-stop for almost 8 hours. Thanks for everything. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll never forget this guy. And his whole troupe, they really had so much patience with me, and I really felt welcome. It was fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ah, that's nice, man. I feel touched. It's great.
Atitude na na tam ka dong